Hello and welcome to another Lord of the Rings Rise to War video. I am the player who plays as the King Under the Mountain, and today I'm just going to do a very quick season update video. Our season is starting to come towards an end now, and we can all get a little bit of rest hopefully over the next sort of week or so and bring out something that's going to be some quite interesting content, I think, for the last couple of days of the server, as long as everything's shut down and things like that. So I'm going to go through things like a few battle reports like I always do. I'm going to go through the changes I've made to my gear. I'm going to go through what's happened in the server. I'm going to remember the Rots Fellowship, who no longer exist because they are in Avalon, but I'm going to remember them. And then from there, we're just going to go through the power rankings and probably call that a day, as this season's just starting to come to a bit of a close, really. So, for the sake of the argument, we are the Kilt and Honk Kingdom, and we currently own the ring. This is day 46, so I anticipate we might see the timer either later today or tomorrow, I would guess. Maybe might change a little bit because Orthanc changed hands in part of a deal, which I'm going to go through. Hopefully I can cover all that in the time that I want to do it in, as I'm trying to make this a little bit shorter. As I say that, I'm still waffling on. So, let's go to the map. So, the map. We are this red kingdom here. This is the Kilt and Honk Kingdom. There are still plenty of pins around the map. This one does move a little bit, which is why it's kind of so low. There's one here too. There's another one here. There is one way up in Forest Shell between these guys still. There is another one, a great pin actually, between Mesh, Gome, Spod and Raw. And Mesh are coming out on top on that, I believe, from what I've heard. There's a small pin there of Echo. We've kind of clicked on those ones. There is still a large pin here between the Ibis and Echo Kingdom. In the south, there is still a pin in Gorgoroth between Kilt, Avalon and Honk. There is still a big pin in Sea of Nirnum, which has got a few more teams involved, including Peen. There is still a pin down here, and there is still a pin in Harad. So, I'm going to try and very quickly go through the map and go for it. So, this is the Odin Otter Kingdom here. We have come to an agreement for the rest of the season, if I'm being honest, that the fighting is around this central zone. We gave them back Orthanc because we felt it was probably prudent, so they got their three caps as well, which they'll be quite happy about, and we're quite happy about, and it's kept some good PvP in the centre where pretty much anything goes in this kind of region. So that was that one to explain. In the north, they're still battling it out with each other, to be fair, which is quite nice to see. The Raw Kingdom is still battling with Mesh, so it's Raw and Gome and Mesh and Spod, and they are still battling in the north a lot, which is always good to see, to be honest, and keeping that going. Ibis and Echo Kingdom is this blue one here. We've been fighting at this pass for a lot of days now. They have taken the pass back, but when they break through the crossing, we do seem to be able to hold them. So their advancement's been quite sort of contained. And then the team that's kind of, I don't really know what to say apart from they're a bit of an enigma. I mean, you can't fault them because of the effort. So you've got Meow and Avalon, who, as cats say, have 9 lives. I'm pretty sure we've gone through about 9 different deals and we haven't come to an agreement at this stage. So Meow and Avalon is this kingdom here. They were pushing Gorgoroth. We had to send some more players down. They have pushed to Rondor and gone all the way across here. They're actually setting up at Belfalos here. They just get everywhere, which is, it's good to see and it's impressive. And, it has been a great fighting server. That's kind of the state of the map. And I don't think at this stage a great deal is going to change. So, but we'll see. So, I'll do another couple of updates, I think, as far as it goes. But that's kind of where that's at. Leaderboards wise, we have Mavius still the key farmer of Middle Earth, and he's also got a lot of merit as well, to be fair to him. But he does like to farm. You've got a guy from Echo over Mars in second, which I don't think he was there the other day. Rooster is in fourth. Rooster's a good player, and looking forward to seeing a lot more of him in the future, I would say. At 5, we have one of the donuts, and then at 6, we have another one of the donuts, and then at 7, you have me. And I do like my tiles, although I keep losing 200s in Belfast, which is really irritating, and replacing them with 150. But that's the top 10. There's a nice mix. If I scroll down to the top, say 50, let's go for it. That's kind of where we're at. So there's quite a lot of power being collected on this server. Merit-wise, Raven is still head and shoulders above everyone else. The guy's account's disgusting. It's sickening, and he will kill anything that is in his way at this stage. Barbaro, my official mesh sort of correspondent, I guess, really, is still in second with 6.5. I'm kind of battling out for third with Atomic Punisher, who, by the way, Wolfman has got a really, really, really classy account. So I'm kind of in that mix in there, which I'm quite happy about. But if you look at the PvP rankings, obviously there's a lot of us because we've been fighting a lot more kingdoms than other people. But there's also a lot of mesh. There's some Odin. There is Lore creeping up in here. And Riv. There's a good mix. Yartaf's account's in there. That's a strong one. Ogre's account's in here. Rooster's at 27. There's a lot of big accounts around there, and if we go down to the top 100 just to show what kind of fighting server it's been, because it has been a lot of fun. Even in 100th, you're talking Hugh with 2.7, which is pretty crazy, really. It's shown it's been a really good, strong, solid server with sort of. I want to say it's been quite good Diplo Riot wise and quite respectful, and I think. Even though I think some people have disagreed from time to time, I don't think it's been a bad server for kind of that sort of getting on Matrix. And as far as balance goes, it's also been pretty handy and pretty healthy at points. So we're still a top kingdom on production. Ibis Echo's Kingdom's actually gone up, and the Otter Odin one has actually gone down, and that is more due to the fact I would suspect that we've kind of swept up from the west. I didn't actually go through what had happened in the map, I just kind of talked about that side of it, but I'll just go back there and just show you shortly. So then you've got all the others all the way down to here, so it's been fun. Just while I'm on that subject of the map, I'll just kind of explain. So we had a west team which is kind of swept through this sort of area here up into here. And actually took Moria for us, and then have kind of compressed Area Door from this sort of south area. So we're actually now at the Area Door, Region Keep, sorry. So we kind of split our force to sort of pincer the Odin Otter Kingdom. And we've had to split our forces a lot, to be honest, to cover multiple points. But it's been a good learning curve for that, and I think it's a good experience, and it'll only stand us in good stead for the future. But that West squad did a really good job, and they kind of did clean up all this. Originally, I was in this area to start with, and this area was all cleaned up, so it stopped people from getting at other capitals. So that was good, really. And it's been a good season to sort of learn. That was the rankings. I wanted to show just very briefly what I had done with my gear. So I've left Dane's gear absolutely the same. Shadow has picked up an extra refine on this. I do need more helmets just to fill it out. He's in the B team. That's on my spare physical set. I have changed Gandalf the White to the Fiddle, as I could full refine it thanks to the deal that's very, very recently come out from the Under the Mountain deal or whatever it was called, which I thought I had to kind of get because of my name. And I've changed from Agility to Divide and Conquer. So I've just made my Gandalf a little bit more tanky. I've adjusted my white council from 64-ish% to 70%, as long as I don't run into a fast Sauron. Haven't seen many of those on this server, which is kind of why I think that change is okay. I picked up one extra point of command, but it was more the focus. So I dropped a little bit of defense, but I've also got Divide and Conquer. So he's now really tanky, which I'm quite happy with. Saruman stayed the same. I got a couple of nice rolls on his unique. I got Commander Focus and Unit Defense. If I could pick up another one of those two, I'd be pretty happy. Didn't get a great roll on Sauron. I got Commander Defense, so hoping to pick up some command rolls on him at some point and perhaps get that over 600 without having to do too much else. Do need a couple more items for him. It's probably the weakest gear set that I own in the 4. I appreciate it's a good set, but it's still probably the weakest one I own in the 4. The B team I've kind of settled on for now is Witch King, Bjorn. Gandalf the Grey has replaced Falgin for now. And they're very similar, but with the gear that I have, Gandalf the Grey's kind of sort of picked that up, and then Shadow has as that kind of white council clearer. So I've sort of mimicked my main team with the way I've got one white council clearer who can do quite a lot of damage, one decent damage dealer, one sort of white council, and then one debuff. So it's quite interesting. It works quite well for me. So that was that. I don't know if I've been attacked up here. I've been kind of sat on this tower for a while. I have been, and I'm about to die to Slayer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to recall. This is almost classed as live action, I guess. I'm going to use the speed up. And I know Slayer runs trolls, so hopefully I've got enough in here of small units to be able to adjust this. So I will go like this, I will go like this, and I purposely do this so I can just, with me being so close to the crossing, oh, that's annoying. I'll go DD so I get the damage debuff, and I'll let Gandalf the white tank with those. Why is Dane now not full? There we go. This is just, so I've moved these around knowing specifically that he uses tier 2 trolls. And I know this because I've fought him very recently, and it's a really strong account, but I've kind of just crushed a couple of people there. So Slayer runs, like you say, just full trolls. So if he stays on the tile, I'll counter him quite nicely. We got a couple of kills there as well. But that's that. So hopefully I can sort of take that hit in a minute and I'll kill that. But that's sort of not really what I wanted to look at. So just a few battle reports before we go. I've picked out the best of a good bunch, and some are from before. Some are from before I changed my gear. Some are from after. This is from before, I think. Yeah, this is when I had the merriest reign. So I was slightly quicker, and it helps against someone like a Funk account, whereby they are faster than me, generally. I thought this was a really solid result. Bear in mind that it's worked out fairly even. Yes, I would lose the draw, but from a troop point of view, I've got Smalls in here, and he got some Swans. This is kind of more of a rare side of the result against him. To be perfectly honest, I do tend to lose to the Funk account because it is a serious account. When I don't get really bad RNG, though, I do pretty well against him. And this is what I like about my formation. It does punch up, which is good. And now it really punches down. This guy's cool. He's got a sickeningly good Theo, and I felt, again, this was a great result for me. Again, running one small and a couple of large. He's got the Bree Riders on Scowl and the Shire Ponies on Dane. So this is a really expensive combo with Theo, but he's got a really awesome Theo. A Z7 Theo, Z7 Scowl. Respect 14 Dane, which is also pretty tidy, and then a really nice Sauron. Probably a little bit too much focus for me, but really nice formation. That was a good win, I felt. But it's nice to see a Theo at that sort of level. Isaac's another strong account, and this is one of the better wins that I've had against him. Again, I have to filter in one lot of smalls, really, just to carry on with the way I'm fighting. I think I've shown the Isaac account a couple of times now. I've started getting the better of that since I switched to Saruman. One account which I no longer get the better of so much is the WAG account. And I don't think I've got any reports actually in here. But I've gone from winning that battle to being fairly equal, just because of the way that he's changed to the 3 support method with Gil, Gandalf the White, and Sauron with Dane. And it's made him a lot more tankier. So we kind of draw out now at around similar levels. I promised Shady I'd put this in here. Shady's been a bit of a world chat, I don't know, keyboard warrior is probably the best thing to do all season, but in a kind of like nice way. As in, he's not really been offensive. He's just taken a lot of Slim Shady jokes. So as they say, but Slim, what if you win? So he did in this case. It's an expensive combo. Yes, it's a win for him, but as resources, it's still good for me. He's got a really cool formation though, and he doesn't mind throwing it at absolutely anyone, to be fair to him. I have started saving gems to refine Saruman's unique. It's just a shame that you have to wait sort of, a lot of days to get it, because you can only get 7 mithril a week from the shop. But we're doing that slowly. Consistently beating the Ogre account, which is quite nice. And I think it helps that that we've started running that small unit to counter the other one as well. So I'm trying to run one lot of smalls, not only just to keep myself in troops, but also because it helps in this scenario where a lot of them have started running trolls on one of their DDs. So I kind of counter the counter, and they counter me in return. So, but yeah, really, really solid account is the ogre account. So I was quite happy with that. I mean, that's a Z11 shadow. Then this guy attacked me last night, actually, which I thought I hadn't seen him for all season, I think, but pretty strong account, to be fair. Again, using Gil and the Bow Knights. Everyone's got a full Palantir but me, it feels, these days. And then he's got Swan Knights on Gandalf the White. Probably, I mean, I wouldn't like to use Swan Knights on Gil, as I've spoken about before, but it's interesting how this works. But you're not getting any damage output from Gil, even at respect 10. I get he's not built really for the damage, he's built for the stun and the defense, but I don't know. That feels to me a little bit more unbalanced, potentially, than using Gil as your tank. Because I don't think Gandalf tanks as well, if I'm being honest. But I felt that was a good win. And then this was the Slayer account, which I was just talking about. So this was this morning. I basically switched because I knew it was coming in, and I went to all smalls, and we got through this pretty okay in the end, to be honest. For a nice little win, and it's nice to have a fort so close to the fighting, because you can, if you know what's coming in, because you do learn different people's commanders as you go along, you can learn to switch your formation up and make sure that you survive the hit. And with that, I think that's pretty much everything that I wanted to cover. The current deal, which is in the shop, you do get 6 golds from, and it's a pretty good deal, to be honest. If you have got some spare cash for that one, the gold items are not choose your own, but they are pretty good. And that's kind of where we're at. So, if in doubt, as always follow your nose.